Hi, I'm Eli, and I make games. So for this week's episode of Feedback Friday, the sixth one, doesn't feel like 6 weeks, feels much longer than that, but hey, it still applies. We're gonna get into it. The game this week is called 7 Seconds. I probably should have done it in the 7th one, but I took submissions this week, like only submissions. And the only game I got that I thought was worthy enough to review and I physically could review was this one, because other ones just crashed, and the other one was a horror game, and I'm not giving into that. So yeah. So we're gonna start with critiques, and then we'll move on to praises. So critique number one is the time limit doesn't make the game more interesting, and it's really because of the presentation. When it does happen, you go, what? Okay, it happened. But you don't really have anything that tells you, okay, this is how much more time. It does say there's the wings, but I never really noticed that. It may be just really subtle. Just that I never noticed that, and I was never paying attention to that, to the point where I was like, yeah, no. I think all you really need is just to add a timer. It's not that complicated, but just adding a little 7-second timer, add milliseconds to it, helps add that intensity and that adrenaline that you really just need. So that's critique number one. The second one is it's not much of a It's not much of a challenge. It really is not. Because the game leverages off of that 7-second thing to build intensity and adrenaline to make your own challenge. But because there's nothing that implements it based off my last critique, it doesn't add much challenge to it, and what you can't do is you can just keep going forward and do a bomb over and over and over again, and you will never fail, which is kind of lame. Maybe make it so that the faster you start going, maybe the villages, they can attack you or something, so you're gonna want to take them, as many of them, down, so you can really drive that force. Another idea is, I know the game's called 7 seconds, but shorten the amount of time you have after every 20 times through, put it down a second until it gets down to something like 3 seconds where you don't put it down anymore, because that's about as low as a time that I can imagine. Maybe 4, probably it's 3 or 4 seconds. And my other one is that the controls, they feel a little odd at times. If your plane actually gets to the mouse, it just kind of glitches back and forth, which is weird, and then you move it away, and it's just kind of weird. And also the whole clicking with the mouse to do your stuff, that's good game design. You're only really using that hand. But if you added an option for keys, I'm sure a lot of people would really like to use key controls in this game. Or maybe have mouse to guide it and then keys to shoot and start. Just add more control options to fit different people's needs, because not everyone is going to be satisfied with controls of just a mouse. But also, the game's fit for a mouse, so using key controls won't be satisfying to everyone. So you gotta balance that out. And that's all my critiques. So now on to the praises. I'm doing good speaking today. So the art style, it was nice. More particularly the color palette. At first it looked almost a little washed out, like all that brown and no major contrast. It was kind of like, ugh. But it really growed on me as I played the game, so I like it. The concept of it is neat, having trying to destroy villages, but you only have a certain amount of time, not bad idea at all. I'd say if you develop the idea, it would definitely be much better, but the concept and idea in of itself is a good one. And the controls, now I did complain about the controls and there's something that needs to be fixed, but the simplicity of them is nice. In games, I always say quality over quantity, but also simplicity over complexity. When you have something very simple and easy to grasp, more people are going to play your game, more people are going to become interested in your game, and more people are going to like your game because of the fact that it can get into more people's heads. Like, think of Mario real quick. Mario in of itself is a very simple game. You can move left, right, you can jump, and you can run. That's the game. That's Mario right there. And look at where Mario is today. Does it have more complex systems behind that? Yes, it does. But it's still Mario, and at its root, it's just run and jump. And you can run fast. That's Mario. So having those simplistic controls that are easy to grasp, more people are going to understand that, and more people are going to be able to play the game and like it. So that's all I've got today. Remember, this episode, I said this in last week's, but this episode's being made ahead of time, and if you're seeing this the day it came out, that's amazing because I'm not able to put this out anywhere. And if you're seeing this on like a Sunday or Monday, wow, look. Advertising worked. And yeah. So, if you like. If you don't. And subscribe. Peace.